What's going on, everybody, on this beautiful Sunday morning, depending on what time zone you are in the country? I am Guns Picks, and this is the Breaking Ankles college basketball show. And I'm supposed to be doing this with Dabby right now. I think he's having some internet issues right now, so don't fret, folks. We have a bunch of beautiful plays here on this beautiful Sunday morning as we've been firing shots all weekend long. Now, if you checked, this is the third rendition of the Breaking Ankles show. We did two this weekend. We did one Saturday, one Friday, and guess what we did, baby? We went 3-1 on the Friday plays that I gave out for Saturday, and we swept the board on the late slate. Oh, you know we out here so weeping, baby. And it has been an absolute run. 11-1 this weekend, baby. We're going to continue the momentum into Sunday. So let's start this off properly with our first pick of the day. And this thing kicks off in approximately 50 minutes. This is Northwestern versus Maryland. They're playing at Xfinity Center, College Park, Maryland, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be going with Maryland on this one. The favorite, -6.5 as a play. Listen, let's talk about where these both teams are because they're both red hot. Let's just facts are facts here. Northwestern has won 5 out of their last 6 games and are off a road loss versus Illinois, 66-62, is 7.5-point dogs. If you remember in that game, Northwestern had a huge lead going into the half, and then Illinois made that comeback and got the W, but did not get the cover. Now you got Maryland on this one. They're 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games, and they're off an 18-point win versus Minnesota at home. What you got to know about Maryland is a home team. This is a team that you always have to back at home. That's why you see the line so high versus a Northwestern team that's been playing out of their minds. Now you got Maryland, 15-1 straight up at home this season, 12-4 against the spread. So that is where they're sitting here at home. Now I know where Northwestern is on the road. They're 7-4 against the spread on the road this season. But let's just break down the stats of where these teams are at offensively and defensively. Northwestern is 99th in offensive efficiency, 315th in field goal percentage, 280th in three-point percentage, 308 in two-point percentage, 204th in offensive rebounds. So this is not a good offensive team. They're somehow figuring out a way to slow the game down to their tempo and actually keeping themselves into a lot of these games and getting W's in the process. But now let's talk about the Maryland defense here. They're 27th in defensive efficiency, 39th in defending shots, 121st in defensive rebounds. So the edge there, in my opinion, goes to the Maryland Terrapins. Now you got the Maryland offense on this one, 33rd in offensive efficiency, 164th in field goal percentage, and they're 59th in two-point percentage. So not too bad, above average for their offense here. But let's look at the Northwestern side of this one. They have a good defense. It's probably what's keeping them in a lot of these games. 17th in defensive efficiency, 58th in defending shots, 140th in defensive rebounds. So I think there's going to be a little bit edge on the rebounding game for Maryland on this one. And I think they're going to be able to pull this out in a very hyped momentum type of game here. Now you got Maryland. They're 19-7 against the spread in the last 26 home games, 8-3 against the spread in the last 11 overall. And listen, they haven't played this year, so there's no back stats from a revenge game type of situation. It's basically just going by the old tried and true here. Unranked home favorite versus a ranked road dog. We got to be doing it again here, folks. We're going to be taking Maryland, the Terrapins, the home babies, as the one unit play. As we go to the chat, of course, your boys in the building. What up? Of course, we got the Mooch. He's always showing up. Guns versus great card yesterday. Yes, great card. I agree with you on that. And then Sideshow saying, keep it up, Guns. Hey, I'm trying, man. We're only as good as our last day, folks. I do appreciate the 11-1 run that we're on right now. But however, we have to continue to trust the process and keep moving forward. And hopefully this hot streak will continue into Sunday. All right. Now we're going to go into another one of these A10 type of games on this one. I actually had Big East at this one, I think. Okay. Providence versus Georgetown, the Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C., 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. And listen, I'm going to be going with the doggy on this one, plus with Georgetown, plus 7.5 as a play. Listen, This team finds ways to cover. They don't win ball games here, folks. The Hoyas I'm talking about. They're 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games, but they're 8-2 against the spread in that span. Now you got to look at Providence. The Providence is on a 3-2 straight up, 2-3 against the spread run their last 5 games, and they're off a road loss to UConn. So they're going back on the road again. I kind of see this as a little bit of a sandwich action, but if they would have got that win versus UConn, it would probably be weighted a little bit higher. Now, these two teams did meet on February 8th, and Providence won the game 74-62 as 13-point favorites. Now you see in the line here sitting at 7.5, it's a 5.5-point swing. That's a box check right there. The line is going in the direction that we want to from game A to game B. And then you got the Hoyas and what they do at home. They're in the last 11 games. 9-2 against the spread in the last 11 games. They're 8-1 against the spread in after a straight up loss. I mean, that makes sense because they don't win ball games anyways, but they're covering spreads. Now you got the underdog is covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings versus when these two teams meet. And you got Providence in a potential look ahead spot. Listen, they're going to go play Xavier next for their next game. And this is a game that is a big revenge spot for Providence because they lost in OT on the road. Now you get them back at home. So it's probably a better spot to take Providence in the next game rather than take them in this spot here. I think they play a little soft. I think they play a little lackluster. And I think they play a little flat versus a Georgetown team that just figures out ways to cover spreads. And by God, we're going to be taking them here. Georgetown plus 7.5. Dog of the day. Didn't mean to do that. My bad. All right, back to the chat. Alfonso's in the building. What's going on, my man? How you doing? JR Black, the OG Guns, 9-1 day, beast mode style. That's right. That's right. We're bringing the guns. We're firing shots. That's what we do here on Breaking Ankles and the SWN network for that matter. Josh Baker, you don't think 6.5 is too much to lay with Maryland? That's the point. That's the point. It's like, why are they 6.5-point favorites at home versus a ranked opponent? The line's telling you stories here. Don't look too hard. Don't use the public perception on some of this stuff, okay? Understand where these two teams are. Granted, they're both two hot teams, and you could see Northwestern do the same thing that they did with Illinois. Illinois had no business to beat Northwestern, but they were favored 7.5 points. And they almost covered the spread, but they had such a bad first half that it killed the game. You're not going to get that from a Penn State team. I'm sorry. You're not going to get that from a Maryland team that plays lights out at home and has not lost a game in the Big Ten at home. So see it as it is. I think Northwestern is kind of due for a little bit of regression, and I think you saw that in the second half of the Illinois game. That's just my opinion on that matter. All right. Going back here, Max in the building. Let's get some money. Get away. All right. Now we're going to move down the board. We're going to hit another Big Ten matchup, a real good one. Well, I mean, you can call it a good one. It was a good one back in the day. But Wisconsin versus Michigan. This game kicks off in Chrysler Center. Ann Arbor, Michigan, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And listen, we're going with a favorite on this one in a revenge spot. Michigan minus 5.5 as a play. Yes, we've talked about this yesterday with these teams. Some of these teams that need wins to get to March Madness. Michigan is one of those teams that has to basically just go balls out and win as much as possible, and they get a perfect spot here against the Badgers. Now, Wisconsin's coming off a nice win, 12-point win over Iowa, too. So they're on the highs of highs as well. As 1-point favorites, 4-6 straight up in their last 10, though. Now you got Michigan. They're 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games and are off back-to-back wins over Michigan State and Rutgers. Okay, so this is a team that's kind of pumping up, revving up for March. Now you got to look at the matchup here on the defensive and the offensive statistic lines here. Wisconsin is 159th in offensive efficiency, 262nd in field goal percentage, 344th in offensive rebounds, 332nd in 2-point percentage, and 336th in field goal percentage. This is a bad offense for Wisconsin. This is why they've just been absolutely terrible all year. Granted, they did win the first matchup versus Michigan, but I think Michigan gets right on this spot. Michigan also looking at their defense. They're 55th in defensive efficiency, 67th in defending shots, 88th in defensive rebounds, and 83rd in defending the two. So I think it's going to play everything together perfectly versus this Badger team, especially when they're going to be playing at home here for Michigan. Now you got to look at Wisconsin's defense. Wisconsin's defense is not bad if you actually look at the numbers. 18th in defensive efficiency, 118th in defending shots, 43rd in defensive rebounds. Now you got to look at the Michigan offense. A little bit lower on that one, 46th in offensive efficiency, 132nd in field goal percentage, and they are 273rd in offensive rebounds. That is going to be a key one in there, is if they can get to the boards and get second chance opportunities versus this Wisconsin team that has a really good defense. Now you got to look at Wisconsin, what they've done. 0-7 and 1 against the spread following a straight up win. 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 road games. Michigan, on the other hand, 6-2-1 in their last 9 home games, 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. So what you see here is a Michigan team that's getting a little bit hot in the right time, and you got a Wisconsin team that has just been bad all season long, unbackable altogether. You also have the revenge factor because these two teams did meet on Valentine's Day. Wisconsin won the game 64-59 as 1-point favorites. Now you see the line swing the other way, 6.5-point line swing as Michigan is favored 5.5 currently. So with all that being said, all the statistics applied, we're going to be going with Michigan minus 5.5 as the play. And we're dropping plays. Make sure you guys get into the chat and let's talk it up. If you got plays that you're looking at right now, I want to hear what your locks are too. What are you guys doing today? What's on the agenda? Let's talk, people. I'm here for you. So that's what I want to make sure that you guys get the appropriate analysis on any games that you're looking at in this one. If you also got some locks, maybe I agree with you on that one as well. But thanks for joining me. 21 of you got beautiful bastards watching us on YouTube. More watching on Twitter right now. So please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And make sure you hit the bell so you know every minute we go live on the Sports Wagering Network. All right. Moving on to the last and final play of the night. And you see me wearing the hat. I'm wearing it for a reason here. We're looking at Rutgers and Penn State. This game tips off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're playing at Bryce Jordan Center, University Park, PA. And we're going to be going with the Nittany Lions on this one. Penn State, minus 2.5 as the play here. I know it's -3 in some books. Taking it -3 too. I think Penn State gets right in this spot. Now let's look at Let's look at the offensive defense in this one. Rutgers offense, 167th in offensive efficiency, 291st in field goal percentage, 271st in 3-point percentage, 265th in 2-point percentage, and they're 81st in offensive rebounds. Bad offense altogether. It doesn't matter. I mean, Rutgers is basically all predicated on their defense anyways, whereas Penn State is more of an offensive team as well. But look at the Penn State defense. They're 140th in defensive efficiency, 162nd in defending shots, and 31st in defensive rebounds. So I think what's going to happen here is you got a bad shooting team in Rutgers, and you have a team that can actually get to the boards in Penn State. So it's going to be a very difficult time for Rutgers playing on the road here. Now you got to look at Penn State's offense. This is going to be the key to the game on this one. Who's going to be able to is Penn State going to be able to put points on this Rutgers defense? They're ranked 14th in offensive efficiency, 5th in field goal percentage, 7th in 3-point percentage. So they're making their shots, and they're 44th in 2-point percentage. But on the rebounding side, they're 363rd in offensive rebounds. But granted, when you're a good shooting team, I wouldn't really expect you to be a good offensive rebounding team. You know what I'm saying? Because the shots are going in for you. Now you got the Rutgers defense. They're ranked 3rd in defensive efficiency, 10th in defending shots, and 127th in defensive rebounds. So this is going to be the key to the game. This side of the floor here, folks. This is what's going to decide the bet. But I think Penn State gets right here. Now you got to look at how Penn State does at home. Last 27 home games, they're 19-7 against the spread, and they're 5-2 against the spread on Sundays. Other side of the spectrum, look at Rutgers, 0-4-1 in the last 5 road games, 1-5-1 on Sunday games. So this is a team that does not get up on Sunday, whereas the Penn State Nittany Lions do. Now, these two teams have met before, so we also have that stat in here built into the cap. They would bet on January 24th at Rutgers once, where Rutgers pummeled them badly, 65-45 as 7-point favorites. Now you see the line swing 10 points. 10 points here, folks. Now you got Penn State here minus 2.5, minus 3. And it's a 10. I mean, that's a 10-point swing. That is a huge swing. And usually when you get swings like that, I will always take that swing every single time. And I think it's the perfect spot to be taking Penn State on this one. So give me Penn State minus 2.5 as the play. We cashing, baby. Ow! As we go back to the chat, as it is pumping today. You guys are the best. Man, let's get some money, Max says. I said, dang right, we're going to get that money. Looks like Markel likes Manhattan 8.5. Haven't looked at that game, honestly, but I will take a look later. Maybe a play on the Slack channel. So that's another thing. My full cards are on Slack, baby. So there's a link in my bio that you click. You can join in absolutely free. It's a great community with a main chat that we always sweat out the plays together. And we have 3 cappers in there just pounding plays. NBA, NHL, college basketball, of course. So go check that out if you can. Sideshow says Iona staying hot. We'll see. I have to, some of these later games I've kind of like not looked at yet, and I've kind of waited to see where the market was going with some of these plays just to make sure I was on the right side. I do kind of lean Indiana State, however. I haven't made that official yet, but I think that's going to be on my card. It's just a team that I love backing right now. Terrific team in a great spot. I think I believe they're on a revenge spot as well. So I really like the line correlation from game A to game B. Grit and grind. Illinois on the road. Listen, they're coming off a big win. I mean, they had a humongous comeback versus a good team in Northwestern. They may have the highs of highs kind of situation. Now they're going to go and take that momentum that they had at home and then go carry that into the road game. That's a little dicey for me. I haven't officially done a full cap on that one, but I'm just talking out the play with you. But that's kind of something that I'm thinking when I'm looking at that play. Alfonso says, Michigan it is. You know it, baby. Yeah, Markel, fade the but I don't that's another one that is a tried and true. Don't bet on Ohio State no matter what. I don't disagree with you on that at all. Sideshow in here. Big Ten home games have been cashed, and that's correct. Well, I mean, yeah. I think with most college teams, you're gonna play your best ball at home anyways. Winning on the road is not easy. So teams that can do it, I give them kudos. Northwestern's one of those teams. I'm just gonna tell you right now, they figure out how to. They're 7-3 on the road. They know how to cover on the road. It is a little bit scary on that element, but I can't take away from what Maryland has done already at home versus who they play. I think they're going to be fine in the situation, and the line being at 6.5, that tells you something, man. Oh man, Josh in here. Let's get this money. Bang! All right, boys, it is time for the tried and true a best bet. Listen, I bounce back and forth. There's 2 that are really close to me. I like Michigan, but I'm going to be going with the Penn State hat on this one as the best bet of the day. I just think they're in a perfect spot. They got the revenge spot. They lost by 20 to Rutgers. They're not going to do it here at home. You see them favored -3. I think this is going to be a get right spot for a team that is heating up at the right time. And Rutgers on the road is just nobody I want to trust. I like them better when they're playing at home in New Jersey. But in this spot, they're going to PA. They're playing. The Nittany Lions fans will be rocking the student section. So I like that play as my best bet. All right. So to recap the plays for you, boys and girls, Maryland -6.5, Georgetown +7.5, dog of the day, Michigan -5.5, and Penn State best bet -2.5. Those are the plays for today. And I'll figure out what Dabby Cab is on, and I'll add those plays later today in one of our graphics. So don't worry about that. Like I said, internet issues, it happens. That's just part of the gimmick. But at least I can give you 4 plays for you guys to feast on. And let's continue the momentum. Listen, 11-1 run for the Breakin Ankle Show. And I have to look back at what we did last week because we killed the board last week. I think we went 4-0 on Sunday last week. So call it 14. Now we're actually 15-1 run on the Breaking Ankles show. So bang.
We cashing.
Are we cashing?
Baby.
Are we cashing? That's what I'm talking about here. So that's gonna do it for the Breaking Ankles edition Sunday slate. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys immensely. Thanks for getting the chat rolling. Thanks for watching the show and supporting us. And just like I said, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on Twitter, get over to YouTube. What are you doing, folks? And make sure you subscribe to the channel. You don't have to watch us on YouTube. It's fine, but you're supporting us and helping us grow and getting us into what they call the algorithm that is so difficult to get into the mix. And by God, we're just making people cash hand over fist in cash. So please do us a favor. That's all we ask. Like and subscribe to the channel. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Let's have a Sunday. Let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.